Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. That's right, representing for my folks over at Veg Head, a downtown Lansing plant-based restaurant. We'll talk about that in a second. Hey, it was a great weekend, especially for the Henry Ford Trojans. Had the all-class picnic, and boy, it was a good time. You can go on my timeline. You can see all the love and all the great times getting together. Always repping class of 1993. Shout out to the class of 1994. They did it big in 1984. Was in there real deep. It was a great time, and I can just go on and on. It was a beautiful thing. I'll tell you in advance, this may be a little bit longer. I got a little bit more content I want to share, but I think it's going to be appropriately so. So with that being said, what is today's topic? As I always say, I always share either from the headlines or my personal experience, and this position is not necessarily a combination of both, but it definitely is for the headlines, and that is what Snoop Dogg taught me. That's right. What did the D-O-G-G teach Lindsey Huddleston? No, I haven't had the opportunity to meet him personally, but we all know Uncle Snoop. He's all touched our lives. He's probably one of the most beloved and well-recognized faces on the planet. I even heard someone say Snoop does commercials in China we don't even see. But I think it's really important, and what we're getting at here, we're talking about authenticity. Authenticity. So here we go. How do researchers define authenticity? I think that's a great question, and I want to appreciate Psychology Today for being a great resource for me. When they talk about defining authenticity in this article, it says individuals considered authentic are those who strive to align their actions with their core values and beliefs with the hope of discovering and then acting in sync with them in their true selves. When people act in ways that violate their self-concept, they may experience negative feelings ranging from mild discomfort to heavy guilt. It is not a good look when you act against who you are, but that's a tough one. You know, I think, people know my story, and if you don't, proud Detroiter. Gotta say what's up to my folks. Aaron Mays, good morning, Lindsey. How you doing, brother? Ezra Brill, Grand Rise. That's right. We represent for the Ford family. I know you was putting in work with the Urban League, Ezra. We miss you. Michelle, me, Watkins. Michelle, I must say, this is the first day that at 8:02, someone has come in and said hello before you. Actually, two great individuals, Aaron Mays and Ezra Bell. But I know, hey, Michelle, you still got the title, and I appreciate you. Yeah, we're talking about that. But what I learned from Snoop Dogg, what we've been able to see in his appearance at the Olympics and what he's going through. But let's just talk about that. We talk about, this. I want to kind of go back to the challenge that we have when we go against our authentic selves, when we're not in sync. Talking about ranging from that mild discomfort to that heavy guilt. You can feel a certain kind of way. All right, I'll talk a little bit more about that too. Also, researchers say self-awareness, knowledge of trust in one's own motives, emotions and preferences, and abilities. That's another way to define authenticity. Also, unbiased processing, clarity in evaluating your strengths and your weaknesses without denial or blame. You got to be able to have clarity and being true about what's going on in your life and acknowledging that. Also, number 3, behavior. Acting in ways congruent with your own values and needs, even at the risk of criticism or rejection. You got to do what you all about. You got to act in ways that are consistent with who you are. If not, you may get some criticism and rejection, but that's going to get you where you have to go. And last, relational orientation. Close relationships, which inherently require openness and honesty. Shout out to Santor Coleman. Hey, everybody knows San, representing Henry Ford's finest 7 Mile. Brother was very gracious enough on the microphone yesterday to say some very kind words about me that brought a lot of my classmates and others up. Show nothing but love, but when you get that honesty from people, it helps you. So let's talk about Snoop, right? This was Snoop at one point. This was part of Snoop's authentic self. And the point I want to make is sometimes you can be punished for being your authentic self. Now, in this case, we all know this is when Art imitated life, and the rapper, Murder Was the Case he gave me. Lily was that. Snoop was almost unheard of at this point early in his career, meaning he was going to go away for a murder that took place that he was involved with, unfortunately. Kim Grand Rising, I saw your lovely baby out representing so well last night tonight. She looked so good and was so cool to kick it with her and her friends. Good to see you this morning, Grand Rising, indeed. But I'm just talking about what I learned from Snoop. And I think it's important to emphasize that because we celebrate Snoop now, but Snoop's authenticity at this point in his life almost ended his career. And we've seen this transition from Snoop at 22 to Snoop at 32 and at 49 and who he is now. I mean, come on, guys. This is the Snoop Dogg we know and love. And although he's dressed in equestrian wear and dressage, I should say, he hasn't lost any of his credibility, any of his street cred, anything like that. And I can appreciate Snoop for that. Got my brother Courtney Alexander in the morning. Courtney, y'all gonna have to make some decisions over there in the Alexander household with Jacob getting offers from Michigan, Wisconsin, all kind of crazy thing. I'm waiting for my guys at Michigan State to come through. I tell you what, I'm gonna be over at Michigan State today, representing for my folks at Veg Head. Shout out to Sean Elliott and Kerry McGee, who are sponsoring us. And you see the logo. Shout out to my boy Desmond Ferguson representing. I'm going to represent hard, guys. I'm going to have on my Veg Head gear, with my Moneyball Pures going forward. And then if you can't see the back of the shirt, let me show you the back of the shirt where we promoting good health. Shout out to Veggie Reggie in the building. You know what I'm saying? That's cauliflower. Madeline has that. She gonna rock that. You see the logo. But no, I'll be rocking Veggie Reggie over there, man. We talking about good health. Shout out to my boy Ken Gilmer, representing class of 93, talking about some good health tips, how we keep that sugar down. And by the way, I know I might be all over the place, but check out my numbers, y'all. Coming in at a 96. That was on Saturday after a good workout. So my point being is being your authentic self is also being healthy and doing those things. Michelle says, hey, evolving, growth. He said, that's good. Hey, Courtney say he's blessed. Yeah, you are. I know you are. And Kim said, that's awesome. So going back to Snoop, thank you, brother. Thank you, Courtney. Said good stuff. So going back to Snoop and what we've learned, we see him being this international figure. I mean, literally, Snoop Dogg, someone has commissioned a pen, an Olympic pen representing Snoop. Now look at this. Everybody knows Snoop blow real good. He smokes that marijuana. And here it is, a pen in the Olympics, and it may not be endorsed by the Olympics, but the world is accepting this. That's him and his authentic self. But let me tell you something. You got to pay the cost to be your authentic self. And sometimes if you want to run these streets or you want to do things that can be harmful to others, you may pay a cost that may be too much for you to afford with your life and your health and all these things. But I do want you to know that your authentic self is really important, and that's what we talked about earlier. So also, too, let me say, also, the question is, does authenticity benefit mental health? I think that's important to talk about. About my commitment to mental health, my background in sports psychology, and being a PhD candidate in psychology as we go. You understand that. Latoya says, good morning, congratulations on your numbers. Thank you. Health is what it is. It was good to see you last night. We was on the mile with shout out to DPD. Hey, Henry Ford got out there, and after the picnic, shout out to the people on the picnic committee. My man, DJ Babe, known as Jermaine Dupree on the, Opupri or something like that. But that's Babe being funny. But shout out to DJ Babe. Ron DeSanders, I love you much, dear. You did such a great job. Juan, everybody who put the shirts together and everything. Wayne Selden doing all the great pictures. It was so many people. And like I said, my boy Centura and Chuck on the mic. It was a great thing. I appreciate everybody for what they contributed. But talking about mental health, folks, and how your authenticity benefits that. Authenticity is a bedrock of well-being. That trait is correlated with self-esteem, purpose, vitality, and the ability to set and accomplish goals, because you got to feel good about who you are going forward. Also, it is also linked to coping skills that allow people to navigate life's challenges in healthy ways rather than resorting to self-destructive behavior such as drugs or alcohol. Abusing drugs or alcohol can be bad. You can enjoy yourself. We popped bottles all day yesterday. It was a good time. That Blue Clo, that was it. It was perfect. It was a soundtrack. But my point being is that when you have authenticity, you won't have to rely on those things to kind of, be your self-medication also. So Lindsay, give me some sports psychology solutions. How do I become a more authentic person? I'm glad you asked, right? To begin, reflect on your values, is what research says. What changes can make you to live in accordance with your values? Again, I thank Santor for that great introduction, and my boy Ramon Thompson pulled up something. I heard him announcing your name when I pulled up. But that allowed me in my time back today to reflect on what my values are. Even going back to high school and being a class leader, a class president was on my shirt, but that was the truth. And also being part of the Hoop Squad. Hey, I got a little something I want to just share. If you don't see it on my timeline, look at these brothers right here. Henry Ford, Trojan, that's 1992. We had everybody on. I got my boy Dennis Reed, Martin, shout out to Wanda for the pick, Larry Moore, Marco, myself, Kerry. You got Mo Taylor, he was a pro. We had a pro on our squad. Mo Taylor representing Damon, Kendrick, LaKeith Boyd. Hey, man, there's nothing but love with everybody right here. And that was a good time. But I always say we spend our adult life reconciling our childhood. So whatever it may be. And part of my reconciliation of being on a great squad is still to continue to be involved in sports. Miles Miller gives me a salute. What's up, brother? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Thanks for checking in with us. That's Cass Tech Finest right there. So I just want to say these things to add more to it. We talked about your values and what changes can you make to live in accordance with those values. See, sometimes we got to make lifestyle changes, whether it's your health. Again, I talked about how Ken Gilmer and I was talking about good health, or just the people you with. Shout out to my guy Raymond McGore, my day one. He picked me up, dropped me off back at Mom's on the east side, and I was able to get back here safely. So who are you rolling with? Who is reinforcing these values? That's important. Because you want to be your authentic self, or are you around unauthentic people? And are they enforcing negative concepts and values that you don't need? All right, a little bit more for you guys. Also, you can observe yourself objectively. All right, that's another way to become an authentic person. Pretend that you're a fly on the wall and assessing somewhere else, but look at yourself. Can you be objective and observe which actions and choices feel authentic and which not? Sometimes you can do things that may be considered quirky or different, but that's who you are. You love that. That's who you show up as. But then are you doing something you like, man, well, who is this guy right here? Or who is this? Who is this woman? Why am I acting like that? Did your voice got to change up every time you talk to different people? Do you acknowledge some people and not acknowledge others? Do it depend on if it's beneficial to you? I mean, these are things that you have to recognize to be able to go forward. Also, examine belief systems that you develop in childhood or ingrained patterns that no longer serve you. Understand the roots of current beliefs can help you move forward. Snoop Dogg realized this lifestyle that he was living no longer served him. Look at his face. He's talked about that. But what has served him is his evolution. Being Snoop D-O-double-G and doing all these different things to be able to get to this point. And this is a lifestyle that serves him now when he can roll with his homegirl, Martha Stewart, and they can roll and represent in different ways. You have to ask yourself, again, we spend our adult life reconciling our childhood. And I was so grateful to be amongst the great Henry Ford family last night. I got DB right here, Dale Beard. My guy, this is some good stuff. All right, thank you, DB. DB in the building, Coach Dale Beard, my guy representing Lansing's finest. I got some good folks on my timeline. But what I want to just keep telling you guys is that your authentic self, you might have to pay the cost to be that. And I'm not telling you to go out and say I'm going to be a rapper / drug dealer like Snoop Dogg and I'm going to smoke in public places. See, Snoop paid the cost to do that. That's Snoop. That ain't you. So you keep that in mind of what you're trying to do. And I'm not saying that's the only way you can be authentic. So what are characteristics of authentic people? This is really good so you can know whether you have them or not. Genuine people share a few key traits. They tend to take time to develop an opinion and speak their mind. Respond to internal expectations rather than external ones. So it's all about what's important to me inside and not what's going on around me. And forge unique paths to fulfill their passion and purpose. You got to get out there and do that. I remember, as politically involved as I used to be, again, class president, you saw it on the shirt for some who watch. But when I made the transition into the sports world, it kind of threw people off. I talk about this all the time. I left corporate, but I had a vision of where I can go. And amazingly, here I am celebrating being on the board of directors for the Rachel Williams Foundation. Shout out to my guy, H. But being able to navigate sports and help the community and also be politically involved is an important thing, but you got to do that. Then sometimes you got to remove yourself from situations. I won't get into much detail, but I had a couple people I had to walk away from because what they brought to me was violating my internal processes, and I didn't want to be with that. And I didn't have to argue with them. I didn't have to get mean and disrespectful. I hit them with these. I just pieced out. And you may have to do that at times too. Remove yourself. Also, characteristics of authentic people also include they aren't threatened by failure and they can admit their faults. Yeah, I messed up, my G. My bad on that. Oh man, we might not get it this time, but let's keep going back. It's not a perfect world. There's not a straight line to success. I talk about that all the time. Authentic people are not threatened by failure and they can admit their faults. They can keep going. As long as you keep up and keep going. Also, they are often less judgmental of others and have a strong self-esteem. It's funny, man. People who put in work, shout out to my guy Vernon Richards, people who put in work, they're not really going to criticize you. They're too busy working. And also, they understand that this is what it takes. I'm not going to be quick to criticize you because I don't know what your path is going to be. But somebody who can sit back and chirp and say you did this wrong, in most cases, they're not putting nothing together. So keep that in mind as well. We won't be here too much longer. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Also, too, what are characteristics are inauthentic people? Now, we want to hear that, Lindsay. Spill the tea. Everybody tuning in for this. Okay, well, I'm going to give it to you, right? Psychology Today says if a person tends to be defensive and self-deceptive, they are likely not being true to themselves. Always on the defensive. What you doing? What you talking about? And self-deceptive. Always something going on, always in the shadows. They are not being true to themselves. Also, what are qualities of authentic people? We talked about that. We want to just get back to that. 7 core qualities of authentic people. They have a realistic perceptions of reality. They know where they at with it. Hey, man, this is where we at with this right now. Let me tell you what's going on. They can be honest. Hey, I really can't do that for you right now, but maybe in a day, maybe in a couple weeks, or whatever it may be. Hey, I want to get this project done. Hey, I think I need another day on that. Whatever it may be. Also, they are accepting of themselves and other people. Hey, I love who I am and I love you for who you are. It is not my role or job to come worry about you and stress you about being the way I want you to be. I love who I am and I love who you are. They are thoughtful. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to do a whole podcast on saying, hey, male or female, somebody do something for you, a cup of coffee or dinner or lunch, say thank you. And it's amazing this day and time that people still move like that. I had one person say a long time, well, if it's McDonald's or something, I'm not. In my view, there is no determining whether it's more important or not to say thank you. And that's something to keep in mind. Also, have a non-hostile sense of humor. Like, they can laugh, it's cool, dog. Like, ha, you funny. Don't go too far with it, though. Come on. People be chirping and sneak dissing, as we say, but they have a non-hostile sense of humor. It's cool. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep going, right? Also, a few more things, too. They are able to express their emotions freely and clearly. Hey, man, this is how I'm feeling. Hey, let me tell you what I thought about that. Hey, something on my mind I want to share with you. I think that's really important, man. They let you know where they are, where we at with this, and whether we agree or disagree, we know what's going on. Also, authentic people are open to learning from their mistakes. Man, I took an L on that one. Dang, I got to figure this out, man. How we going to do this next time? Instead of just doubling down, opposed to say, you know what, that wasn't my best look. I had something where I was rushing through an email. I'm sending somebody something for clarity, and all the information was already in email. You had to go down a little bit lower, right? So my response was literally, hey, my mistake, my bad. Thank you for that, and we were going. I'm not trying to say I'm the poster child for authenticity. I'll tell you somebody who is in a minute. And then they understand their motivation. What is motivating me? What's motivating me to get through this thing is in a few minutes I get to get off and get to pick up my baby. Madeline is touching down from her Alaskan cruise. I'm going to pick her up in just a few moments. And I'm excited about that. I'm going to show you a little bit of love, little daddy stuff that only my folks who watch my SPS Monday Motivation to get. Let me show you something I got for y'all guys. That's right. Baby in Alaska. Can you believe that? Looks unreal. This her on the ship. Said, Daddy, it was a little cold out there. My baby's coming home, but that's my motivation. And then another motivation, somebody I got to share a great story with you, an authentic person who's shown me this since day one. My original day one, my mother got to go see Bud Crawford. Matter of fact, she just gave me this when I got back home. This is the VIP being on the floor. Mom was representing her, right? She went on the trip by herself. Talk about authenticity. When she can say, look, I like Bud Crawford. He going to be in L.A. I want to go see the fight. Give me some good seats on the floor. Deuces, I'm out. That's authentic. Go do what you got to do instead of waiting around for somebody to get on board. And then at the last minute, like one of my friends told me, cancel with you on the day of. Come on now. Miles Miller showing the heart love. Appreciate you, Miles. Hey, Ezra Bell say love it. E. Bell say love it. I can't be doing wrong. So with that being said, guys, what Snoop Dogg has taught me is you want to be your authentic self, even if you got to pay the cost to be the boss. And just also know that if your authentic self includes something that can be destructive, you got to be careful because you may not get the complete evolution of 22-year-olds, 32-year-olds, 49 and beyond, and the Snoop Dogg that the world has all come in love. Hey, we right at 20 minutes, man. I appreciate you guys taking a little bit of time. We'll get over here to the Michigan State football practice. Shout out again to Veg here for being a great sponsor of SPS. We're going to talk to Coach Jonathan Smith. Hey, Friday the 30th, they'll open up against Florida Atlantic University. SPS will be in the building covering this whole football season as well. And I just appreciate you guys, appreciate your support. Hey, if nobody don't love you, love yourself, baby. Start with self-love and go from there. hey, appreciate the support. Want to wish you guys the best. Shout out to Henry Ford, all classes. It was a great time. Hey, and none but love. See you guys in a minute. And before I go, my last comment. Hey, E-Bell said, peace, fam. Peace right back to you, man. None but love. See you guys.